George. This is going to be another Vinyl Finds. I think I've mentioned it in a few videos ago. There was recently a, well, not recently, it's been a while now, but there was a really great record show here in town. It was mostly classic rock. There wasn't, really any punk or new wave, but there was a lot of garage. So I came out with a really good stack. There was especially one vendor that had a bunch of Pebbles that were really well priced that I've showed in a few recent tag responses and thread responses. But it's taken me a while to get through these. I don't really like to show a record unless I have really listened to it and absorbed it. So anyway, this is going to be the stuff I got from that record show. But the first thing I wanted to show is this Wailers Everywhere. Great garagey. They started out as kind of an instrumental guitar band in the late 50s, and then they kind of had a I don't know about a resurgence, but a second sort of sound in the 60s when garage hit, and they're on Etiquette Records. Anyway, I found this at a I've been working a job working for an estate sale company, and this was at the estate sale, and I get first pick all the records since I'm working there. So this was in there, so I grabbed that, and I think they charged me about $15 for it. So I was pretty happy with that. A lot of these Wailers records are pretty beat up, but this one, the cover's kind of rough. There's some staining and stuff, but the vinyl's really nice. This is a mono copy. This is from, I already say this is from 65. It maybe doesn't have the highs, the just crazy good songs of Out of Our Tree, but it's still great. They do less covers. There's more originals on this. They do a really good cover of Do You Want to Dance, but the originals are great. Tomorrow's Another Day, a little bit louder. How Do You Feel? Yeah, great Wailers record. So, okay, the first record I got at the record show was Where the Action Is Done in the Good Times. This is their 67 album. I think it's their second record on Jordan. They're like the Wailers. They're from here in Washington. They had an album in 65 that's also a really great garage record, and then after this they had record that is on Epic, and it's a little more, it's kind of bubblegummy and it's commercial. I had that and I traded it in, but this is really good. They do a cover of Money. They do a cover of The Witch by the Sonics. Long Green is great. There's some really good instrumentals with a good organ sound, and that cover is so distinctive. It just pops at you. So I was happy to find this. This is a stereo copy, and this was very cheap. It's on, I think it's actually not on Jordan, it's on Wand. But Wand was, Jordan licensed it to Wand, or they're affiliated in some way. And Wand is obviously the label that the Kingsmen were on, and all that stuff. So this is a really cool record. Really great. And I think, I'll show this first. The other garagey album that I've been looking for that I found was The Seeds. This is an original pressing, and it's really, really, really clean. You can see how that cover is no ring wear. Really, really nice copy. And it has it's kind of cool, it has the crescendo inner sleeve. When I first heard this, I have the first Seeds record, and my first thought is, oh, this isn't as good. This kind of disappointed. It's such a cool cover and such a great back cover that I really had high expectations. And then I think I listened to it 2 more times and was like, okay, this is, I don't think, kind of like the Wailers record, it doesn't have the same highs as the first Seeds record. You know, there's no pushing too hard or can't seem to make you mine, but there's some good stuff. Mr. Farmer, Trip Maker's great. A Faded Picture, I Tell Myself. And I really like the really long 15-minute song, Up in a Room. But this was such a clean copy. I think this was about $30 for this, which, you know, for this nice of a copy, it's, yeah, I was really happy to find this. And then all the rest of these records were at one booth. And he had a ton of Pebbles and Highs in the mid-60s. I didn't buy any of those because I don't need to go down that rabbit hole right now. But the first one I'll show is Transworld Punk Rave Up Volume 1, and this is great. This is, I'd group it in a garage, but more specifically freak beat, I guess you'd say. Has the Scorpions, That Ain't Me, or Ain't That Just Like Me, which really sounds like almost like a prototype for the Headcoats or Billy Childish. Yeah, this is great. You know, when you listen to this many garage comps back to back, they kind of all blend together, so I can't really pick out too many specific ones, but I don't remember there being a bad song on this. I listened to this a few times. But a lot of bands from Holland, Italy, New Zealand, Sweden. There's some UK bands. It lists the Scorpions as a UK band, or I'm sorry, as a Holland band, but they were from the UK. They're from Manchester. I think they were just most popular in Holland. The 45 I have, I think, is a Holland pressing. So anyway, Transworld Punk Rave Up Volume 1, that's a mouthful. And they also had Volume 2, and I picked that up as well. This one I think is better. This has Fab, the Bats, the Rivals, the Jaguars, T-Boons, Phantom Brothers. This has some, what does this one have? It has some of the, from the same countries as the last one, but there's some bands on here from Germany, some Canadian bands, some Spanish bands. And I think there were only 2 volumes of this, but these were really nice, really, really affordable. They were in shrink. I took the shrink off. But yeah, these are really cool comps. I'm assuming they're not official, but they're really good. Okay, the next record I found from that same booth as those Freakbeat comps is this, the Rhythm Checkers. This is all the stuff recorded by this band called the Rhythm Checkers. I don't know where they're from. I can't read anything on the back. I'm assuming, somewhere like Netherlands or Holland or something like this, but this is really great. The vocals are kind of more in that bluesy Jerry Rosalie of the Sonics style, more than like a whiny Sky Saxon sort of vocal. And they do some great covers. They do a really good version of Land of a Thousand Dances. They do Kansas City, Long Tall Sally, and then they do some originals. This might be French, actually. I'm not really sure. Maybe someone who knows can tell me, but this is a cool comp. Just more good garage, and this was so cheap that it's just, I had to see what this was. It looked so cool. So the Rhythm Checkers, really cool band. And then the last one I got, or the last records I got, are all Pebbles. Pebbles Volume 1. This has The Litter doing Action Woman. What else is on here? 125 by The Haunted. Count 5, Psychotic Reaction. The Trip by Kim Fowley. Potato Chip by Shadows of Night. Yeah, fantastic. He didn't have Volume 2, but he did have Volume 3, which is my favorite. I've had this on CD for a few years. I think the CD version I have has some extra bonus tracks, but this one I think is the most consistent. Susie Cream Cheese by Teddy and the Patches is great. I'm Allergic to Flowers by Jefferson Handkerchief. What else is on here? Horror Asparagus Stories by The Driving Stupid, and I think there's a comp of everything they did out. What else songs? Voices Green and Purple by The Bees is great, but I think the best song that I've heard on Eddie Pebbles is 5 Years Ahead of My Time is the Third Bardot. That song is just incredible. Volume 10, he had like the surf one. I wasn't really interested in that, but I think the next one other than that he had was Volume 10. And yeah, more of the same great stuff. Probably the standouts are the Ugly Ducklings, a great Canadian band. Primitive by the Groupies, it's fantastic. The Cramps covered that, obviously. Yeah, great. Oh, I kind of went out of order. This is Volume 9. I think I showed this in the video recently. I can't remember which one. But, yeah, this is great. Feel It by It's All Meat, which I think we're kind of more of a hard and heavy early 70s band, but the song fits great in here. Project Blue by the Banshees, which was on Dunwich. I don't know if it's Dunwich or Dunwich. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. The Bugs do a good cover of Pretty Girl by the Easy Beats. So yeah, great comp. I'm sorry, I'm saying the same thing about all these. Volume 11, what were the standouts on this? Galaxy 5, Don't Lose Your Mind, that's a great one. Beaver Patrol, ESP, there's some Beaver Patrol songs in some of the earlier comps. I'm Higher Than I'm Down by the Aardvarks is great. Volume 12, The Nomads from Zero Down is great. What else is on here? 2 songs by the Clockwork Orange. Another band, or a 60s band called The Jam. So yeah, Volume 10. And the last one I got is Volume 16. And I think this is probably the weakest one. It's not bad or anything. I don't think any of these comps are bad, but it's just not as consistent as the earlier ones. I think there must be, 25, 30 Pebbles. And he had ones after this. But I didn't want to spend too much. I'd already picked up a bunch of records. So Pebbles Volume 16. So yeah, that's it. That was shorter than I thought it would be. I got a great VCLT package from Vinyl Richie that I'm going to show in my next Vinyl Finds, but thank you very much to him for that. I think probably my next video will be the punk tag, and thank you to everyone who responded to the garage rock tag. I really appreciate it. So thank you very much, and thanks for watching. Bye.
Radio Nederland presents Date with the Dutch. Wherever you're feeling groovy, hip, with it, or whatever you like to call yourself, or even if others or you yourself regard you as a square, here's 15 minutes of music by the youngsters recorded in Holland especially for you.
Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Now wait back, just wanna say what to say, baby, take it up over you know that I love you, won't you come and love me too? I take you down, won't you come and love me too? Well, I eat a little, can in the pill, the cow don't told the bull, the little dog left to see such fall, and the fish ran away with the spoon.
Well, I met a little girl walking down the street. Said, what's your name? This is what she said to me. Just a little bit louder, know your name. 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 I'll tell you my name if you tell me the same. Just a little bit louder, I wanna know your name. Just a little bit louder, I wanna know your name.
In the valley of the Jolly. Oh, oh, oh. told me